back this morning to pick up High Maintenance's former transmission, and they're actually going to turn it into a sink for their shop that they're building. So I think that's pretty dang cool. They said they'll send pictures when it's done. I don't know when that'll be, but if I randomly show you guys a sink from a transmission down the line, you'll know why. Alright, we are wrapping up this project. Martin is putting the truck back together. We are going to service it, and I am going to steal my own wreath. Because it's the new year. And guess what? The bow is still on. Like, this is how my bows are attached. And then I usually wrap these guys up and in here to secure it. So that was just somebody helping themselves. I don't blame them. The one I had, it was very pretty. It was very sparkly and fancy like. But yeah. High Maintenance has been serviced. It is now time to bring Mama's ATM back in the shop. The boys are going to, I don't even know what they're going to do. I know that they are going to get it where like the cooling pack and hood is back on. So whatever else to do along the way, we're going to all find out together. But I'm hanging out in my truck, just cleaned it up, got it ready for the new year, new High Maintenance, y'all. And as soon as they are ready for me to pull this truck out, I'm going to take it out of here and they can get whatever the other one's name is, Mama's ATM in.
So, first test drive so far so good. Transmission's performing nice, shifting like butter, downshifting much faster and more precisely. It's quieter, doesn't vibrate as much at certain speeds at lower RPMs, and it had to relearn the clutch real quick, the calibration, so when it started shifting gears it was slipping when we first left a little bit, but now it's nailing them because that's what they do when you first calibrate this clutch, and it's doing what it's supposed to do. It's shifting like butter, man. It shifts nice. So this is a newer generation trans, and there's a lot of updates to them over the old ones, and this thing is just, it's phenomenal so far. So I'm happy with that. Transmission's all plumbed, airs all ran to it. It's literally plumbed. Drive shaft's in the back of the Ford. It's gonna go back to Green Bay to get cut down, and a new carrier bearing put on. And then I got to bring my speed sensor from my output shaft housing from the 10-speed because this one won't work. I'm gonna get a new transmission temperature sensor because that one won't work, and that one's broken. And that underneath is basically all done. Just got to put the drive shaft back in it, and the speed sensor and the temp sensor. Oh, transmission cooler lines. I forgot about that. So we still got to do those, which that will probably wait till next time. But yeah, it's coming along. And little things here and there are plucking away at it. That's going to get all plumbed here today with the fuel. So that's awesome. I'm excited for that, because that'll be basically all that engine needs to run. Then we just put the harness on it, turn the key, and it'll hopefully come to life. Only got to put oil in it. So yeah, and then drive her off to the junkyard.
We are attaching the fan.
Hold on. Kiko.
We are attaching the fan.
We're gonna put the fan on. We're putting these brackets on for the fan ring. Fan ring, they call it. They don't call it a shroud anymore, apparently. That's not politically correct. So I am going to act on tightening this bolt. I am actor. I am acting for YouTube. This ain't even the right fitting. It won't go on. Oh no, there it goes. But look, it needs to probably go like this.
Yeah.
Because that out of way, so we're way short.
I think they were $8,342 per bolt.
Exactly the exact price. We were using parts from the pack car and we're converting them. Yes, just this shroud.
No, this is the wrong angle. Will you hold it higher? There, perfect. Yeah.
That almost hit me in the face. Let's chill out.
Dave, is your burger medium rare?
Mine was the same way. It tasted good though. It tasted good though.
My mouth shut or no?
Why?
Come here.
What?
Stand next to me. Look at it.
Uh-huh.
Are you looking?
Oh, it is off. Why?
Because that fan clutch has got to be wrong, because that's about 6 inches too high.
Well, what the crap?
So much for installing the cooling pack.
See, I was so taken back by a raw burger that I stood back and looked at it.
Need a fan clutch from like what you have, but yeah, brackets are the same, man. Exactly the same. It's like so much for getting that stuff put on. Are you ready? Not too bad.
Now, just so you know, Martin, you're gonna lose
Gas mileage?
1/4 of a mile per gallon. Maybe not even 1/4. It might be more like 1/8 of a tenth.
10.
Does that hurt? All the sparks.
As a man, you learn to ignore pain. So I didn't get as much done as I wanted, but we almost got as much done as we wanted. So this is our radiator shroud, fan shroud, aka fan ring. The fan blades sitting at this sits against the radiator. And the radiator, some of you guys were asking if this is going to fit with the engine sitting here. Well, as you can see with those brackets, those are Cummins specific. It's going to fit perfectly because the radiator will sit right there. So that's not a problem. The only problem we ran into is obviously that fan clutch. That fan clutch bracket is wrong. And I thought it was going to be right, but that fan clutch is wrong. And it's a nice fan clutch, so, but on this truck, the fan bracket's supposed to put it down lower. This fan set too high, about right there where my fingers are, not centered. So this fan would never spin in here, right? That was the problem we ran into, so. Yep, but she's coming along. We got the trans in it, like I said. Everything is pretty much plumbed other than the sensor. That I'm gonna have to clean up eventually after winter. Got all the rust off of it, but man, this guy, I don't know, he never washed this truck or something. But there's a couple of spots on the frame, like over here too. That's the only bad spot. It's not, it's just surface and paint bubbling and it just looks bad. But I don't like it. So when it comes springtime, we'll needle scale it and kind of touch it up probably. Everything seems to be okay. Alternator spins. pulleys spin, water pump spins. The engine we know turns over. We already tried it. I need to bring my belt for my AC compressor. Next time I need to remember that and put that on. New belt, I got that. We did make some fuel lines, but we screwed them up because we're tired. And we made one too long and one too short, and it was supposed to be the opposite. But we got them made. I got the starter pretty much done, as you can see. Wires, the cables are ran down into it. They're not, well, you can't see. They're not completely tight because I still have to put the charging harness cables on it. We're gonna make that. The charging harness is this guy here. That runs from the starter to the alternator, and then there's a ground charging / starting harness. And the starting part of the starting harness is also on the chassis harness that we still have to run, that the one that I ordered and I bought for this truck. Remote clutch lube, that's for our throwout bearing, that's done. The transmission, all the air lines are plumb. There's 3 lines that go to it, plus 3 lines that go to it, to the shifter, and then there's 1 supply line in the back. Tomorrow I'm gonna pop the shifter in completely and seal that up. This truck does need a deep cleaning, like a real deep cleaning. So obviously that's not the priority right now. Moving on back here, this truck will get the treatment. There's a bunch of PACCAR parts that needs to go in the trash. Dave gave me that inverter, sweet of him. The truck is a double bunk, however, as you can see. We took these flappers off. How you guys like that quarter fender in that position? Kind of reminds you of a fella. It's got this one truck. But we took them off. I don't care that they give you fuel mileage. They look stupid. They make the truck look much cleaner without them. It just needs an overall cleaning. Pretty sure the APU works. I got a deck plate for it at home that we're going to put on. These airlines are going to go away, obviously, because they're junk. As you can see, he didn't even want to replace them. He just bought an outside cable. So external cable and ran it. It's kind of stupid. But I have lines that I'm going to run. The condenser in the back, I'm not sure. Eventually, I'll probably mount it under the deck plate like all the other trucks we have. Alice says that the Fancy was like that. The Fancy still is like that, I believe. But I'm really starting to dig this truck. It's nice. And I like the body lines of these 579s when they're a mid-roof now. Picture a whale tail up there. Picture eventually a nicer visor. Maybe an air ride front end. Half fenders on the back, Peterbilt step box back there, obviously whale tail on top, and this is going to trigger some people, stacks, but they're not going to go here. They're going to go behind the sleeper like a real aero truck's should have. That's the look I like. So that's it for Mama's ATM for this week, other than some fuel lines tomorrow, and I'll zip that shifter up. And that's about all we can do, but we're getting there. A lot of the stuff got done, and there's not much left to do. And now, the cooling pack, that'll go on. I mean, it's literally 2 bolts there and 2 bolts there, and that's done. And then 2 hoses connecting, and that's it. And then an AC line here and an AC line up top, which I don't have that yet. Doesn't need to run. Doesn't need it to run, but there's not much left to do. All there is the cooling pack. Hooking everything up, plugging in the harness, a couple connectors here and there, and this thing pretty much is ready to fire up. Oh, we also got our power steering hooked up. We're waiting on a different line. We got to get a 5/8 of it here for pump suction. Our high pressure right there, that hooked right up from the PACCAR. It's a little dirty, but we'll clean that off. Everything else is hooked up. We still have to get the compressor hooked up, which I think I'm going to replace that steel line right there. It hooks right there where this braided line is, but it's too big. That's too big, and that's too small, and it's also too short. So, yeah. And then our signal line for the compressor. This is a 1/4-inch line for the governor. Got to hook that up. That's going to hook right underneath there. You're going to have to believe me. And that's it. Not much work. Oh, and we got to get the driveline shortened. Not this one. This is the back one. The front one that's coming off the transmission. So.
Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. You see the drip, yeah, I'm fitted up. Hop in my car and the giddy up. Secure the bag, yeah, I get the bus. Pick it up, pick it up, pick it up, pick it up. Ooh, I've been on the flex since flex zone.